It's a story of sunshine and showers today after a chilly start and then turning wetter and windier into the weekend. I'll have all the details of that and more live from a Hindu temple in Brent where they're celebrating Diwali. Tell us more.
I just wanted to
Find the temple later on this morning. It is absolutely beautiful, but let me tell you, it is cold outside this morning. Clear skies have led to a fairly widespread frost. Temperatures have dropped as low as -3 degrees first thing this morning, but the outlook is set to change. Winds still northerly today, and that brings showers through northern and western and eastern coasts with a real nagging wind. So the thermometer may well again say 8 to 10 degrees. When you add in the strength of the wind, it will feel colder than that. The outlook as we head through tonight's clear, cold and frosty, but it turns increasingly wet and windy through northern areas as we head through the weekend. Warnings in force for gusts of wind of 60 to 70 miles an hour, Charlotte.
Laura, thanks very much.
Good morning to you. We are at a beautiful Hindu temple this morning in Brent where they are celebrating Diwali, 5-day festival. Diwali translates to mean a string of lights, which is why it's often known as the Festival of Light. It is absolutely beautiful outside. It is lit up blue this year to the mark of respect to the NHS for the incredible work that they've done over the last year and a half with COVID. And this place was the very first Hindu temple in the entire world to become a vaccination centre. They're absolutely incredible as well. We'll be seeing more inside later on this morning. Weather-wise, let me tell you, it is cold first thing. High pressure has moved into southern areas with light winds and clear skies, but the outlook as we head through the next few days into the weekend, low pressure moves in across the north, and that brings with it wetter, windier conditions and also temperatures on the climb as well. So welcome news if it's been too chilly for you. First thing this morning though is clear, cold and frosty. Temperatures have fallen as low as -2, -3 degrees. Some misty, foggy conditions, particularly for some northern and western areas. Now through the day today, after a northerly wind with the risk of a few showers around coastal areas, it turns increasingly cloudy for the northwest of Scotland. Outbreaks of rain start to arrive and then the wind picks up as well. In the south, temperatures at 11 or 12 degrees, but adding in the wind again like yesterday, it will feel much colder than that. So let's take a look at our 7-day outlook for Scotland, Northern Ireland and for northern areas of England. We continue to have temperatures sitting around about average, perhaps just climbing a little into the weekend. But looking at our percentage chance of rainfall, we see that wet weather looks set to arrive. A few showers today, but it turns much wetter and also windier. Warnings in force for wind as we head through the weekend up to 60, 70 miles an hour before turning that bit drier as we head into next week. Fortunes further south for England and Wales as we head through the next 7 days. Again, temperatures no great shakes, sitting around average, chilly with some starry skies and some cold frosty nights. And then the outlook percentage chance of rainfall, actually it doesn't look too bad. The chance of a few showers, some outbreaks of rain at times, but generally the outlook in the south with some shelter is largely fine and dry. It's just devastating, and the thing that's really key is how much we can limit our warming by. So we have this target, we're trying to not warm any higher than 1.5 degrees Celsius, and it's the difference between losing, say, around about 90% of coral, or if we get to 2 degrees of warming, 99% of all of coral on Earth. So it's how quickly we can make our changes that is so important. And I was at COP at the start of this week talking to people, and there is actually real hope. And here's what's been going on. So we talk about the temperatures having risen by around about 1.2 degrees since pre-industrial times, since we started putting pollution into the atmosphere. And it is 1.5 degrees, this magic number, the Paris Agreement that we are trying to limit our warming by. What happens is every country has put a pledge when they are going to be net zero by, before COP, before the conference started in Glasgow. That number was 2.7 degrees of warming. So what every country had pledged means that Earth would still warm by 2.7 degrees, which is way too high. It would literally mean the Bahamas would be underwater. But it was announced yesterday with all the new pledges from the likes of Australia and India. It now looks as though our warming could be limited to 1.8 degrees. This is massive progress. This is the lowest we have ever been able to get our temperature down. And it actually does look, for the first time, if everybody keeps their promises and commitments, it actually could be possible.
Laura, thank you very much indeed.
Indeed, here's the details. Good morning to you. We are here for a very special reason this morning, celebrating Diwali. It's a 5-day festival. The word literally translates to string of lights, which is why it's often referred to as the Festival of Light. The temple here behind me is lit up blue as a mark of respect to the NHS and the work that they've done over the last year. This temple was the very first one in the whole of the world to be a vaccination centre, and it's also the first eco-temple in the world as well, which is fantastic for tackling climate change. Let me tell you, it is cold this morning. Temperatures have dropped below freezing for many parts. -3 is the lowest I've seen so far. far. The winds are still northerly, bringing lots of sunshine, but also a peppering of showers around coastal areas of the UK. And much like yesterday in the nagging wind, it will feel cold. Overnight tonight, clear, dry for many of us. Again, a frost develops, but then changes come as we head through tonight and into the weekend. Northern areas look increasingly wet and windy. The risk of gales of 60, 70 miles an hour warnings from the Met Office. The southern areas this weekend look set to stay largely dry. Good morning. Well, you can give me a double thumbs up for what I am wearing. Hopefully you can hear me. I am at Kingsbury Temple, where they are celebrating Hindu New Year today. It is the year 2078. And Shilpa kindly dressed me this morning. This is her sari. These are traditional clothes all the way from India. I have the jewelry as well. And she said that I can keep this outfit. So that is so kind of you. I'm absolutely honoured. We are so honoured to be here today. We spoke to her husband earlier on this morning. We have a second camera that shows you what's going on down there at the moment. There is a huge offering of Hindu temple in the entire world to become a vaccination centre, and the whole shrine here before us is there for the NHS as a mark of respect for everything that happened. The temple was lit at blue this morning for the NHS, and it's also an eco-temple. It was the first one in the entire world to have solar panels on the ceiling. Now, weather-wise, let me tell you this morning, it was clear, cold and frosty first thing. Temperatures fell to -3 degrees. Beautiful sunshine greeted us, and now is a story of sunny spells and scattered showers. Showers through northern and eastern coast like we've seen over the last few days. Some of those tracking inland. The winds today make it feel really cold. It might be 10 or 11 at best. When you add in the strength of the wind, for some meaning like 4 or 5 degrees. This evening and overnight it's clear and cold, so if you are heading to bonfire celebrations, make sure that you wrap up warmly. And then as we head through the weekend, Scotland and Northern Ireland dominated by low pressure moving in. Wet and windy conditions, warnings from the Met Office of winds up to 60, 70 miles an hour in the south. Bay of the outlook is largely fine and dry.